welcome. This is Get Real with Chris and Mark, and this is our is this our official first podcast of 2023?
That's right.
And so, in our planning and strategy session, that we spend hours upon hours preparing for the show.
We've been thinking long and hard about
That's
what
right.
we're going to talk about today.
Right.
That's
We
for
have
sure.
been long and hard the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We decided today we're going to talk about predictions for 2023. This will be our time capsule. So next year, this time, we'll either watch it and figure out how completely ridiculous we were, or how completely
So first of all, I predict that I will not be in a hat ever again in 2023.
Why? It looks like a golf outfit,
Look,
right?
That's man, I'm just laid back today. We're filming this on a recognized holiday.
I said I was going to wear a jacket. I'm like, no, I'm not wearing a jacket today.
You even changed into that shirt,
I did.
and you were wearing a polo.
I know. I should have just wore the polo.
You were like, you know what? I'm
just
just going to throw this on just so I can look a little fancier than Mark.
That's right.
I see how it is.
I got you,
it's
right.
all good. It's all good.
All right, so
bold predictions.
All right, so what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about predicting real estate predictions, or
let's have some fun first. Let's predict how much snow we're going to get in 2023.
I'm going to ask you these questions over and over again, but that depends on I don't know what we had last.
You want to analyze the data?
We're going to look it up.
No, I don't think we need to look it up. What's your gut tell you?
I mean, I feel like we had, since it got so cold early on, and it's gone away now, but since we got so cold early on, I feel like maybe we're going to have a good winter.
I think we get 2 feet of snow, not all at once, but most of which comes in the month of March.
We usually have a good March, right? With snowfall, don't we? Right?
Yeah.
I remember several years ago we had, I remember clearly we made, the kids made a Easter bunny snowman on Easter.
Yep. I think that's my bold prediction. 2 feet of snow, most of it comes in March.
All right, just to counter that, I'm going to say we have 3 feet of snow.
Okay, you're raising the bar on
I am. I think we're going to have a bigger winter, 3 feet of snow, and...
Didn't you just say we were going to have a good winter?
That's what I meant, a good winter.
I like
snow.
Okay.
I like the snow.
Good winter to me is like the weather that we're having right now. It's 60 degrees outside.
Fall. This is spring.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's spring. That's why I asked you if you played golf, right? Cause
I wish I did.
It's so nice
I was
out.
definitely dressed for it. That's for
All
sure.
right, so we're doing 2 feet of snow you're picking 2 feet of snow, most of which in March. I still think most might be in March too. I'm with you. And then I'm predicting 3 feet of snow. We're going to have Snowmageddon.
Yeah.
Snowmageddon 2023.
All right, so next bold prediction for 2023.
Let's go into the real estate market.
Okay, you going to jump right in there?
Let's do that. I think my bold prediction is that it's not going to be as bad as everybody thinks it's going to be.
I would agree with that.
I don't know about you, but there's people I think the interest rates are, well, they're going to move around a little bit, but they're stabilizing a little bit. I hate to make that prediction, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen it
scary.
It's going up and down and up and down.
I think it's a little too soon.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep. I think my bold prediction for the real estate market in 2023 is that rates continue to rise slightly, probably about a quarter point a month until sometime around March, and then they'll probably stabilize between March and June, and then they'll begin to fall on the backside of this year, and the market will follow as such. So I think that we'll continue to see a decline in values between now and March, April. You'll see that decline stabilize March through June, and then you'll see values actually probably stay flat through the rest of the year, because
that's the prediction everybody has right now. The rate
relief won't be enough to spur a market in the second half of the year that wouldn't already be there. So I think that all in all, value-wise, at the end of 2024, we probably end up about the same or down in comparison of today. So, as you say, same thing, not as bad as everybody thinks.
Right, not as bad as
but it's not going to be great either.
No.
Now, what could change that is if we did get rate relief sooner. If we start to see some relief on the rates in mid-spring, then I think that we could actually end the year up in value versus where we're at today.
Well, I mean, there's still the inventory is not there, right? It's still
correct.
Not
I looked
there.
this morning. St. Mary's County, for example, is sitting at like just over 2 months of inventory, and that's even taking into account the fact that we only had 81 sales in the last trailing 30 days. So it's 2 months with 81 sales. I think we're sitting about 240 units.
That changes your market dynamic, the buyer-seller market completely.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't 240 units. So it was 240, 80. It might have been 3 months. It might have been 240 when I looked this morning. So,
well, what was it? What do you think? What was the inventory? I'm trying to remember what it was when I started in this business. What was it when you started?
So I started in 2009, and the inventory was growing at that point in time. Man, I wish I could look back right now and see exactly where it was. If I had to guess,
I know it's so hard to go back.
If I had to guess, I want to say we had about 4 months of inventory. But by 2011, which was the bottom, we were carrying about 7 months of inventory.
I do remember. That's when I remember it.
But the units were way down, and then there was a ton of houses on the market. Yeah. So, and we don't sit in a world where we're going to see that happen. I mean, we're not going to see 7 months in inventory. It's just not there.
No, and I think and then when we talk about like new construction and all that stuff, that's just not there either. So I mean, we're just definitely going to be struggling with that.
So let's go months of inventory. Then we just talked about values.
All right.
What do you think the months of inventory looks like?
2 or 3 months right now, right? Yeah. What do you mean by the end of the year? What do we think it's going to be? Is that what you're saying? Prediction?
I guess so, or predict where it's going to go.
All right. I think a good market. I mean, 4 months of inventory.
I think 4 months of inventory is where we'll be at the end of next year.
That's what I think too.
Which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, 4 months is a neutral market.
Right.
So that's where we'll be. Technically, where we sit now is still a seller's market by definition.
Right. All right. So now that everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
Right, they got tired of us talking real estate.
You don't want to talk more about? I got so much more. We'll circle back to it.
Okay, so we were talking about somebody, one of our esteemed people behind the camera here suggested we talk about what's Elon Musk going to do this year.
What's he going to do next? So, I think he's going to piss off a lot of people.
Yeah, I think he already has. Right. I don't think he can. I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I told you there was that tweet that was like, I just thought that was hysterical when he said, thanks for paying to somebody who commented on.
Wait, so tell the story then.
Okay, so I was reading the tweet last night, and someone tweeted, or Elon Musk tweeted something about like, how looking forward to the next year, blah, blah, blah. And someone tweeted that back at him that I believe you're going to lose another $200 million and ruin any other business you're associated with. And I'm sorry, I just thought it was a classic response. And Elon replies, thanks for paying me $8. And like, because they're a verified user.
That person was a verified user, so they paid the $8.
Paying the $8. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I guess he's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
He's fine.
He's basically saying, "Look, you've already implemented my business model. Thank you.
Thank you very much." Right. Let's see what
happens.
Paid
me $8 for something that you were previously getting for free.
For free, yeah. And right. And how many hundreds of thousands of users are going to pay that $8?
Doing that? Yeah, exactly right, man. No,
I just thought that was hysterical.
What do we think that he's going to do? I think that he has another major breakthrough of some sort in the space exploration side of things, or like something, either a new record or breakthrough pertaining to launches. Like previously it was like the cheapest rocket ever made. Then it was the first rocket that could ever land itself back on Earth.
By the way, that's cool as all get out.
Right? What's crazy is that we had governments who spent billions and billions, maybe even trillions of dollars on a space program. It could never accomplish these feats. And then here we have a privatized industry that steps in and does it. Yep. Not only does it, but does it at a fraction of the cost of what government did. So I think it speaks to so many things.
It does.
Right there.
Talked
it blows
about
my mind.
You and I have talked about that before. It's like, how long does it take to fix a roadway, say in Leonardtown, or in or build a roadway?
And the worst part is half the time of fixing it, because most of that stuff gets done by an independent contractor anyway. Half the time spent doing it is issuing the bid, taking in all the bids, approving all the red tape that has to happen to get there. Which
I think that just drives me.
That's my next bold prediction. We will have more red tape in 2023
I got to tell you,
than
Mark,
we had in
that's
2022.
Not very bold. Right.
Touche.
There's going to be more red tape.
It's funny. I had a conversation on the way in here, and guy wanted to buy 100 acres that I have listed over in Charles County.
Okay.
And he's like, I said, what do you want to do with it? He said, I want to build a house there. I'm like, cool, what's your budget? He told me. I was like, maybe. I said, what kind of house you want to buy? He said, well, I want to build a log cabin. And I was like, I don't think that you can. And he's like, why? I was like, well, here's what I know. All right. I haven't seen a log cabin built in recent history anywhere in this state. Have you?
In the last 10 years, yeah, but I mean, not recently.
So
right.
He said, why? I said, well, we have energy code requirements.
Yeah.
He said, well, give me an example. I said, well, the house has to pass what's called a blower door test. So think about a leak down test for an engine, but in a house, basically. It's got to be sealed to a certain point. I said, so there's one example. Then we have all these energy codes to follow. So bold prediction that he will not build his log cabin in 2023.
Again, Mark, not so bold.
Yeah. But it's just an example
yeah.
of red tape and what it does.
Either way, even he may be able to. It's just going to cost him twice as much as it would.
Well, that's what I told him. Right? I said, at the end of the day, you end up building a log cabin and stick framing a house inside of it so that you can meet the energy requirements. I said, so you could stick frame a house and put a log veneer siding on it. That would work.
Right.
There's a solution.
A vinyl log.
Yeah, vinyl log. We should come up with that.
Please
write
mark
that down.
This is our trademark. We take it.
Bold prediction for 2023: we will create vinyl log siding. Just for the state of Maryland, where you can't build log homes.
It's going to be.
I won't say can't. Where it's really expensive to build log homes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So since everybody does this prediction, we talked about it before. Why don't we talk about? All right. So I've watched very little football. I've kind of not been my thing the last few years. I don't know why. I just haven't watched it. But we'll go ahead. Let's go ahead. It's early in the year. Let's pick. Well, playoff season's coming. Let's pick NFL Super Bowl champions 2023.
Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. Bills on top.
Oh, you already knew this then.
Yeah. I didn't give you that indication before you jumped on. I was just ready to roll.
So now let me put it out there. I'm not an Eagles fan, but the Eagles, have really dominated this season, most of the season.
We'll see what happens in the postseason.
I know, that's what I wonder too. And then the same
Mahomes
thing.
is awful hard to get by in the postseason. So
right.
That's going to be the key.
All right, so
I mean, my beloved Ravens are in there too, but after what happened last night, it doesn't sound like we're getting Lamar back.
Tonight
I don't think it's going to be good for us.
Tonight, well, a week ago is basically the AFC Championship game, right?
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, tonight. Well, I don't know how the bracket's going to play out.
I don't know either.
And whether or not those two will end up together, but I think that for sure these two teams are the top two teams in the AFC. So it's really exciting tonight, and there is something on the line. So technically, if Cincinnati loses to Buffalo tonight, then when they play the Ravens next week, it will be for the division championship.
Oh.
So if they win tonight, they seal the division.
You can tell I haven't watched any football.
Well, I watch a ton because I have a 6-year-old who's obsessed.
Who plays, right? Yeah, you told me that before.
He plays. He's obsessed.
That's awesome.
Literally, I spent an hour this morning.
That's awesome.
Part of the reason why I'm dressed this way. Outside throwing
Playing
the football with him.
Nice.
And it's funny, he's in basketball right now. I'm like, dude, you want to dribble the basketball? He's like, no, I want to play football. I'm like, you're going to be terrible in basketball. But okay.
He's okay with that.
He's cool with it.
All right, so I don't know who the other team's going to be, but I'm going to just say I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles to win?
To win it.
Okay. That's bold.
That's
bold
what we're here
prediction
for, right?
2023. Yeah.
All right, and then the World Series.
I have no idea. Baseball's not my world.
And you know what? You can't. After I said it, I'm like, there is no way. Before spring training, you have any idea what any team's going to be.
It's going to be the Orioles.
Just like, right. A bold prediction. It's not going to be the Orioles.
That's not so bold.
I'm sorry. But all right. So what else we got? We got anything else, Mark?
Yeah, we got to have more predictions.
All right.
So we got Elon. We touched on the real estate market a little bit. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in the commercial world?
It's funny. It's funny you say that because earlier today I was thinking we should maybe bring in a commercial, practitioner, somebody who really specializes, and bring one of them in here and chit chat with them about that because I really, commercial. I think this is the time for commercial real estate. I don't know why I feel that way. I mean, I think there's
what class?
Honestly, small scale, not
So
not big box.
My
for
bold
sure.
prediction is that nationally we see a decrease in the amount of square footage in office space, Class A office space.
So same prediction, really.
Already decrease. So
You think Class A?
Class A office space declines.
Okay, I believe that.
And that's, we're in that work from home movement still. Yeah. A lot of folks are going back to the office, but not in the same fashion.
Yeah, somebody just said something about that the other day. I was talking about that. But.
It's funny. A lot of office spaces are turned into almost like a WeWork for their office.
Yeah.
So it's like remote, but you only need half the space because then people are coming and going. Like half the office is in at this time and half is in at this time. So they're really able to shrink their footprint. And because of that, in major metropolitan areas, there's office space that's being converted to to residential. So it's a big thing right now.
Oh yeah. Well, that honestly, that's a great opportunity, and that's something I like to talk about is the opportunity for some big box commercial that's retired and turn it into some sort of residential projects.
Yeah.
I think there's great opportunities for
didn't
that.
they do that with the area around the stadium in Prince George's County?
They did, yeah. And I think it's hugely successful, and it's something that we really need to think about instead of wasting all these,
So when you say it's a good time for commercial, I would agree with that. I think that in rural areas, there's still a demand. What's interesting is, so like in this area particularly, St. Mary's County, there's more of a demand for office space because there's not enough of it, and there's not going to necessarily be enough of it. Now, granted, when you get into Class B and C spaces that maybe are outdated and need to be improved, they sit a little bit longer. But for nice office space, there's a demand. And I think that there will be an increase in the medical world as well.
What's funny is I met with an investor client in Prince George's County last week, and maybe in last week, the week before, but and it was, he had scheduled this meeting, and we go into like the WeWork space. They reserve the conference room area, but I never knew until after I met with him that it was somebody else's space. So
I think we'll see.
And he's a big, so it was a lot of opportunity.
We'll see some more of that. Another bold prediction pertaining to the real estate market. I don't know how we quantify it, but I think that this 2023 will be the best year for real estate investors that we've seen in recent history.
I actually really agree with that. And it's interesting because I still think, there's always an opportunity for first-time home buyers, right, in this market, right? But I think we need to, that's slowed because of the interest rate a little bit, but I think it was all psychological, right?
Yeah.
Because like we said before, you were at 2% a couple years ago. Now we're at 5 and 6%.
So that's another thing that's going to happen in 2023 is the change of the buyer mix. So first-time home buyer will be way up. Step-up purchase going way down. So the step-up purchase will fall. First-time home buyer step down, an investor will pretty much own the market this year.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. We went through this before. It's something we've done before.
But it just reflects it. So what it does is it constrains certain price points. Yeah. So the price points between like $450 and $750 will be challenging, which you and I both know that they have been challenging.
Right. For us locally.
Yeah, for us locally, compared to what they were at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's funny. We still talk about how, I know it's hard to understand, but Southern Maryland is a bastion of affordability compared to the rest. Yeah. Most of the rest of the state.
The beautiful thing is it'll stay that way.
It's not going anywhere, right?
We're surrounded by federal money, so because of that, our values don't drop as low and they don't swing as high. So we stay in this pocket, whereas the rest of the world is doing this bounce.
All right, so this is my self gratuitous moment here. I just wish they would recognize that the FHA limit in St. Mary's County needs to be adjusted to be comparable to Charles and Calvert.
Yeah, that still blows my mind because the average annual income is similar.
It's very similar, counties. Almost the same.
Yeah. All right, what do we miss?
We miss anything?
We got to end with something fun.
Okay. Will Slim Chicken survive?
Will Slim Chicken survive?
Yeah, I think it will, from what I hear already.
Yeah, I think it probably
It's got a lot of good buzz.
Man, but that comment alone,
yeah,
it's not like Slim Chickens. Man, word on the street is they were invited to this podcast and haven't shown up yet.
Is that really? Okay, well, we need to work on that for sure. So
Slim Chickens, you better come redeem yourself, all right?
I'm anxious. I haven't been there yet, so I want to check it out.
Bold prediction, Slim Chickens will redeem themselves.
I think they will redeem themselves.
They will come on our podcast podcast, and we will eat delicious fried chicken.
I'm loving that idea. So,
bold prediction: will we still be doing this podcast at the end of 2023?
I am committed. I am committed to do this thing.
I agree. I'm committed as well.
I think it's
been a lot of fun. I think people like hearing us sit here and shoot the shit for 30 minutes. So
I know it's hard to believe that anyone wants to listen to me for 30 minutes run my mouth. But I mean, honestly, Mark, it's good because like having sometimes we can hit some hard topics and really kind of deal with them. And yes,
we didn't hit my fun one. Okay. Calvert County will have a growth rate less than 0.4% in 2023, and everyone will still be pissed off and say that there were too many homes built,
and still less than 4.
We will prove that fact at the end of the year.
I'm pretty sure we will.
0.4%, all right?
0.4%.
Yeah. By the way, it takes 1% to have a sustainable economy. Just saying.
So we're less than half of what you need. Yeah, let's talk about that sometime. Maybe that's a full
we need
to bring some people in here and
we'll bring on like a Calvert County commissioner or something.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe some planning or somebody.
Do that in a couple weeks.
Or something, yeah.
All right, let's wrap up.
All right.
Where can they find us, Chris?
I knew you were going to give me that. All right, you can find us on thebaynet.com/podcast, which is very easy to find. You can find us on YouTube, which is easy to find too. You can find us on Facebook, the Baynet's Facebook page. And you can find us on Spotify and Amazon Music. Don't ask me why, but it's there.
Right.
You guys, you know better than me.
Just Google Get Real, we pop up.
Do we?
I think so.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I feel good.
Somebody fact check me. Does that work?
That feels good.
You're going to try it? All right,
I like that idea. If not, we need to make that happen.
I'm pretty sure if you Google Get Real, we pop up. Get Real with Chris and Mark, you'll find us.
I love it. Now that's more ego.
All right. Well, happy 2023.
Yes.
We'll see you guys in a week.
See you in a week.